This is the Pierre Roch factory in Rolle, Switzerland. And this is where all the Etalon calipers were made back in the day. And I think it's from the 1800s, early 1900s. And this building's about to be torn down, so I just wanted to visit, before it's torn down. And the way I found this was just on Google Maps. Like, I found the old address and found the building on Google Maps. Oh, that's deadly. But it's definitely reaching end of life, which is sad. There's something so interesting to me about these tools being 100 years old, 150 years old, and they're just as good today as they were when they were made. And at the same time, you know, like the modern world, the businesses have figured out, like, you can't make tools like that because eventually you'll go out of business if you don't keep people coming back and buying more. So you can see there's condos over there on the right, and then the factory here on the left. And any day now, they're gonna start tearing down the walls of that factory. And Rolle is the most beautiful town in the world. There's a campground here. It's on Lake Geneva. In the summer, this campground is totally packed. Right now, it just looks like a park. It doesn't even look like a campground. Madame? I'm interested in this building because it used to be the building of Pierre Roch, which was a long time ago.
Yeah, quite some time ago.
Is there anything public inside, like or anything interesting left over from that period?
Well, long story. Unfortunately, I can't.
You don't have time?
I don't have, because I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
But if you're around, I can tell you more. So the main rock site was basically there, where I had my studio before.
Are you an artist or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool.
And it could be interesting for you to see.
I would love to, yeah.
The sort of industrial area.
Yeah.
It's totally abandoned. It's collapsing. It's a disaster, but
Yeah.
it still is an amazing
Yeah,
building.
okay.
And I'm the only sort of survivor there.
That's amazing.
The jewelry, all this high, la joaillerie, les montres de joaillerie is kind of out of my life. But I just found the other day again drawings of watches, which I did for a very expensive shop. But,
Yeah, that's cool.
So I don't know that much, but anyway. So
The thing for me is I'm more into watchmaking because of the mechanical aspect,
Yes,
and the
yeah, I
jewelry
get that.
aspect, and that's why this place is interesting, because they made these tools. I brought some of the,
What?
this is one example.
Yeah, there were things like that hanging out there.
So you know how this works is like, you mount it on your tool, your lathe or whatever, and it measures very sensitive,
Exactly.
1/10 of a millimeter
Yeah.
differences in, you know, the diameter of something.
That's your thing.
Well, I'm learning watchmaking, so these tools, the thing that's interesting about them to me is that they are timeless. Like they'll last forever, and there are all these collectors. Not collectors, sorry, people that work on machines, and they use them and they love them. This one again.
C'est extraordinaire, ces trucs.
They
It's
last.
precision things which last.
They last forever,
hundreds, yeah,
which is
forever.
also maybe the difficulty of a business like this over 100 years is that once you've made hundreds of thousands of things, then the customer doesn't need another one. Like now we live in a world where you have to buy
correct.
a new.
A very good Patek Philippe or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, you have one a lifetime. That
Yeah.
was yeah.
And then
This I had when I was in jewelry. Yeah.
something like the iPhone, you have to replace it every couple of years, and it's a better business model. But people really love these things. And then also the people that own them would engrave it because it was.
I had
with
one,
them.
but it disappeared within years, and now I'm completely in another world. But I had one like that.
Mhm.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
But so, what is your? I don't know that much about Roch, or it's Roch and Orteza.
What's that? What's
Tessa. It was.
Tessa?
Yeah.
Tessa?
No, one S.
TESA, yeah, they're in Lausanne now.
And they were.
They were
I think
together at some
Roch-
time?
Yes, or I wouldn't know. But we
Mhm.
always had to deal about Roch and Tessa.
Oh, okay,
and
so
we
maybe
never
Tessa bought
even
it.
mixed.
Maybe
Yeah.
Tessa bought it when it
Yeah.
was at the end of its ropes
possible.
or something. But let's
Right.
take a look.
Yeah.
I'm really curious if
So
there's any.
I cannot really tell you about. Two buildings have been torn down,
Mhm.
or more. Actually, a very big one. That is where I had my studio,
Mhm.
and we were 3 people out there. And this was torn down. They had the cafeteria of all the working people.
Mhm.
And then there was a very big one, and this is a very big one, and it's falling apart. I can show you. Well, I'm just in the back, but maybe.
And there's somebody in the front that
Oh, there's
does
somebody.
snow shoveling
Oh.
or something. Boats.
No, this was. I mean, this is basically a historical building,
Yeah.
you know. And here was a guy building boats for many years, and then was kicked out, and now it's all falling.
But that's all after Rock.
That's all. No, it was probably.
At the same time?
I wouldn't know. You know, I wasn't there.
Oh wow.
I don't know the details of what was Roch and what was. I don't know. I know that many years ago I got here, I think 2008, which is quite a while, I'd say. And in 2008, well, this was still in action. And they had artists that.
In 2008, they were still making things?
No.
You just
No, there
had-
was nobody, but there were people, I don't know who was here. I know that this part. They let completely collapse. But at the time they were having artists here. But I was not part of them. I had my studio cantina, but it's gorgeous. But you think it's so sad also that a place like that is. You know, when I got here, it was still, you know, the toilets.
Yeah.
No, maybe not. You see here it goes like that now.
If someone like a watchmaking brand should buy it, or anyone, and just refurbish it because it has such charm.
It's beautiful, but how to say, the foundations are now.
Now it's starting to
Yeah.
from
Because
water
you see
in.
these guys, okay, all is new, all these buildings, but down here, this part they had to clean the floor. There were other industries down there, and so the ground was dirty, polluted, and it took over here to change all the earth, and they had to hammer in wooden blocks against that house, 9 meters, and this has given it, I think, the last. I would say the definitely before you dive, and the foundations are definitely touched. So now I think à la commune that they are not communicating much with each other, but it also seems that there are various scenarios in the go, and that some people say, well, we make this cultural center or whatever. I don't think it can ever happen. It seems it's just too expensive.
Look at so much work. Yeah.
It's what this street out.
I'm looking for any evidence of like
But I don't know.
the old bits and pieces.
But I think this. The hog is actually far away. There were evidences where I was. In the cantina, we even found some. Nobody wanted them. Nobody is thrown away and in the software. But here I doubt you can find anything. I don't think this has been so long. We could probably find something more about it, but what you see is not this has been used the last years from the public services, laboratory, those who do the cleaning stuff, which is totally yeah, they are very unhappy because this is beautiful and they have to go into the jobs. But all what's left now is from the public and here is closed to the end. So now you have to pay, you know, less than I do because here you have some boys. They are doing welding work. But I think I can go out. They were having all this place. Here is one place there.
I was going to call them before I went into you.
You can see if they're there, probably they're not. They are, they are, for them it's hell. They are welders.
Hey, I was curious also if in living in Rolle for so long, if you ever met Jean Godard.
Well, I run into him, but you run into him once in a while, you would also. People, he was very local, so he would go and have his coffee at the cafe there, and actually,
I loved him so much from when I was in my 20s. He was like dodging me.
Really? But I saw him occasionally, but I don't think he was mixing much. But you saw him, nobody bothered him because that's the village mentality. And that is nice in a way, And this is also from the green, and this is where I spread out.
Yeah, cool.
But it has nothing, very little to do with the hog. You know,
That's a cool painting.
Wow, that's
I'm doing big stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, large.
That's
really
great.
large stuff. No.
Oh, like the mask.
Yeah.
Is that new? Is that based on COVID? Or is it before
Well, I started, I think, just maybe COVID or just before, but
You
people were
anticipate-
not masked yet. But I did a lot of things with people, and I never wanted it to be portrait.
Mm-hmm.
So I made these two at the same time. I wanted an echo. This is 1700, and this is now. And there were flowers too, and voila. And then I didn't want the face, so that's what I did.
Those are amazing.
Yeah. So I'm doing big size work and so I was just recently, I'm not in any circuits or exhibitions, but I did this in Rolle, in the castle just not so long ago.
We
beautiful.
we love that gallery in the castle.
And wow.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So, but I will have a big exhibition in 2 years in the museum, and that's now I stop everything else.
What's your last name, Mommy?
Maday, M-A-D-A-Y, but my artist name is Moti.
Moti.
It's not, yeah.
M-O-
Most people know both names, but the new people who are on the scene, they only know Moti.
Is it M-O-T-I?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'll give you when you go. You can,
This...
I'll give you a cover and a newspaper and blah blah blah.
Okay.
But so now I will be doing my this museum. That's a big project. It's the Art and History Museum, and so that I will make thematic work which might be larger. I'm Dutch, but my roots are here. I'm from Montreux.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I went there because of my life partner in the 90s. And I stayed there 20 years and I became Dutch. And then I came here. But at that time, the system was already finished of what they call the BKR, which was that every person who had done an art school with a diploma was eligible to have a salary.
From the government, just to make art. That's great.
That lasted, I don't know how long, but quite some years. Now, do you imagine what that means? That means that you have hundreds of people who just don't do anything. They get a salary, they go into Tahiti, they go to New York, and they produce one painting a year, and the city of Amsterdam or Rotterdam or even smaller ones, they all have a huge place where they have all the art that they buy every, I don't know, it was in April.
Yeah.
And if you were one of those artists, they would have to buy systematically.
Yeah.
And then they realized this is a little bit crazy. And I mean, this is the money of somebody. Somebody's paying this. It's the income. And then they stopped the system. But then they put enormous amounts on what you call, how do you say in English, subsidy or subvention?
Yes,
You say
subsidy.
Subsidizing.
And but I got there in the 90s, and I was a foreigner, and I could never fit in because I was a foreigner.
Yeah.
So the people who were, I have people there, they are 70 now. Henk, a friend I'm in touch with now, he has lived 40 years. He always got this subsidization for 2 years, and then he's an artist, but
there's a royal family and a king also there, or whatever, a prince or somebody that was, he was associated with this theater. Like I think that a lot of those decisions came from that. And then, but the thing was in the 90s, it was also not, there was a sense that everybody was poor. And then in the 2000s, it really shifted. I don't know, they ended up attracting a lot of business and it became a boom town. But now it's, I guess, I don't know, I haven't been there lately, but
I was for many years, I don't know, there was a Grand Silo. There was a silo and a theater place and studios called The Fame. And they bought it in the 70s, a few hippie guys who were artists for $1 And when I left, they were trying to rent it to businesses for thousands. It was just absolutely revolting actually, how changed. But our whole system has changed. So now it's not much. But this is also, I mean, I'm very lucky to be here. But it's just a countdown. Yeah.
Cool. So I think it's nice to go and have a coffee or something if you.
Sure. Yeah, I'm fine.
If you have time.
This is my work day. So it's also nice for me to have breaks and it's fine. Yeah.
So you're really Swiss, you just have the Dutch accent because of the time you spent there, is that right?
Yes, but I'm one of those Swisses who's not very Swiss, you know.
That's okay.
I have my grandfather was Hungarian, the other was Dutch. My parents, oh, can they come?
Yeah.
My
Actually-
parents never really integrated, you know, they were not really Swiss, so it wasn't that easy basically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll give you this. We printed these, they're kind of nice. You know, for my exhibition I printed them. And it, you can open, so this exists, huh? This is, this all
Yeah,
exists.
these are big paintings
Yeah,
like that.
and this you just saw this one.
Yes.
But they are all existing and
This is the one from the chateau.
this-
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Last year I was in Australia for a residence and I made an immense wall of calcinated trees, which I reworked every one single one of them. Looks quite good.
Wow.
But okay, so voilà. On y va?
Yeah.
So you guys speak fluent French?
No, that's the.
That's why I'm teasing you.
That's where we're having trouble.
So that's a nice little unexpected break to meet you guys.
It was so nice of you to invite us. So, it was amazing.
Pure luck also, because
Pure luck.
from tomorrow probably I won't be here much.
Alors, le demi-coquet avec un peu moins de riz. Voici.
Ouais, ça look
Un petit peu de pain.
Voilà.
Pain, sel, poivre.
Moi c'est bon. You like some bread?
Oh, bon appétit.
Yeah.
Quelle est votre plus grande ambition dans la vie?
Devenir immortel, et puis mourir,